Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Good to be here.
Today, we are strapping in for what feels like a high-speed collision.
It's a total split screen, isn't it?
Exactly. You've got these two opposing narratives that are just dominating the whole conversation around the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah, on one side, you have all this external noise. I mean, fan commentary, team analysis, and they are screaming about a quote, scandal.
An officiating scandal, no less. And then on the other side, you have the team itself just quietly executing this surprising and frankly much-needed turnaround.
Quick reminder for Leafs Nation, if you're a diehard Toronto fan and you're still bleeding blue and white, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It's the best way to stay updated every single day on our journey.
It's a fascinating dynamic. So our mission today is to, quickly but thoroughly distill both of these things for you. The serious allegations of bias, and at the same time, how the team found a way to win right through all that chaos.
You can't really understand the temperature here without starting at the flashpoint, the moment that just ignited everything.
Right. The recent game against the Florida Panthers.
It all came down to this one controversial non-call that the sources say is when things just started getting out of hand.
It wasn't just a tough call. This was a play that, according to the sources, should be stapled into the NHL rulebook as a prime example of what not to do.
Okay, so let's zero in on that. The play involved Scott Laughton.
Yep.
And the source material calls this a clear boarding infraction, like as blatant as it gets. And the ref was allegedly staring right at it.
And this wasn't some abstract thing, right? Laughton was left with a bloody nose. You could see the impact.
You could? The language in the sources is it's pretty stark. They define it as textbook hitting from behind and boarding.
A dirty play. They specifically point out that he was hit square, right in the numbers.
So this isn't a case where a guy turns at the last second?
No, not at all. He was playing the puck a couple feet from the glass, and he was just absolutely buried from behind. That should have been an automatic 5-minute major.
Especially with the injury risk. But here's where it gets even more frustrating, at least for the fans.
The explanation?
Yeah, the explanation. The official actually gave a reason for the non-call. And the sources say this just made Laughton and the fans even more fired up.
The official claimed that Laughton turned his back from the play, or that he saw the play happening.
Right, and this is where the whole thing just completely falls apart.
It does, because that defense, it contradicts the spirit of the game. It raises a huge question about responsibility.
So tell us about that counter-argument. Why is the official's reasoning so fundamentally unsound, even if Laughton was a little bit aware?
Because the rule is about the hitter's responsibility. It's not on the victim.
Okay.
The source material is really straightforward here. Even if Laughton did see the player coming, that does not, absolve the player delivering the hit.
It doesn't give him a free pass.
Not at all. The moment you're aiming for a player's numbers, a couple feet from the boards, the onus is entirely on the aggressor to pull up or deliver a clean check. Seeing someone coming doesn't mean they're allowed to drive you into the glass from behind.
It's like you're implying Laughton should have just dodged an illegal hit, which is, it's absurd.
It is. And Laughton's quote after the game really sums up the confusion.
What did he say?
He said, "They said I saw him coming, which I did, but I don't know, I gotta watch a replay."
So he's admitting, yeah, I saw him.
But he's questioning how that somehow cancels out the rule violation that just, left him with a bloody nose. It just speaks to a real disconnect.
And that single non-call, as bad as it was, it became the launch pad for these much, much deeper accusations.
Right. So we pivot from this one failure to this broader idea of systemic officiating bias.
What the sources are calling a full-blown scandal.
And the claims are specific. They point directly at the NHL's Department of Player Safety, the DPS.
That's the department that handles all the discipline, the fines, the suspensions.
And the sources start with a name, George Parros, who heads the DPS.
Okay, what's the claim then?
Well, first, there's a statistic. The sources allege the Leafs are the most suspended team since George Parros took over.
The most suspended.
Yep. And secondly, and this is probably more controversial, the source material notes that Paros has some history with the Florida Panthers.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's flesh that out. Why is his history with the Panthers relevant here?
Because it creates the perception of a conflict of interest. Or, at least the perception of leniency.
So the Panthers are a divisional rival.
Right. And if the man overseeing discipline has old ties to that organization, it just fuels this fan narrative that borderline hits by the Panthers get reviewed through a different lens than similar plays by the Leafs.
So the scale of justice feels unbalanced.
That's the feeling, yeah. And the statistical disparity is maybe even more staggering. This is where it goes from feeling anecdotal to, well, analytical.
What are the numbers?
The sources highlight this massive gap. The Panthers have gotten over 50 more power play opportunities than the Leafs this season.
50 more.
50, and they've played the exact same number of games. That's basically a free power play per game. It's huge.
That directly impacts games. So how do the sources square that with how other teams are treated?
They don't square it, they highlight the contrast. They bring up a specific game, Panthers versus the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Okay.
Commentators described it as one of the dirtiest games you could probably watch in the NHL. Just a total mess.
And the result.
A couple fines and no suspensions.
Wow.
And that's put right up against the continuing suspensions that the Leafs face, even for plays that are borderline. The message is pretty clear. If you're a Leaf, the consequences are severe. If you're a Panther, the league seems a lot more forgiving.
So you have this constant loud drumbeat of external chaos. But here's where the story takes that crucial turn for the listener.
The internal discipline.
Remarkable internal discipline. I mean, despite that awful no call on Lawton while they were up 3-0, the sources just keep praising the Leafs for keeping their composure.
They didn't fall into that trap.
No stupid penalties.
Yeah.
No retaliation.
And this internal shift is the real story here. They basically said, we can't control the refs, but we can control our response. Austin Matthews said it perfectly after the game.
What was his take?
He said, we played a good team game, all 4 lines. We played hard, played physical. Our forecheck was really good. Goal ending was great. It wasn't about one star. It was a total team commitment.
And what was the catalyst for this sudden change in focus?
The firing of power play coach Mark Savard.
Right. The sources are pretty clear that letting one guy go wasn't going to fix everything, but it sent a definite jolt through the team.
It was more than a new voice. It was a psychological reset. Matthew Nyes talked about the new voice in the locker room, but the sources say that jolt also meant a renewed focus on tactics.
So a chance for fresh ideas.
Fresh ideas and a new sense of urgency. It became less of an intellectual exercise and more of a high-stakes emotional engagement for the players.
And how did that jolt actually show up on the ice, specifically with the power play?
Well, before the change, it was just stale, predictable. Afterwards, the sources say the team looked way more dangerous.
You could see it.
You could. The passes were connecting, they were getting high-danger shots, the puck was moving with purpose.
And the results are, they're huge. The team is suddenly back in the playoff race, just a couple points out.
And that power play, the sources say, has been 100 times better. And here's the stat that just jumps off the page.
40% number.
It's a 40% number. For a short period since Savard was let go, the unit was operating at a 40% conversion rate.
Which they admit is not sustainable.
Of course not. It's mind-boggling. I mean, a team that finishes a full season at 25% is considered elite. 40%, even for a short stretch, is just proof that the talent was there all along.
The coaching change unlocked the execution.
Exactly. The problem wasn't skill, it was the system or the mentality. But it's about more than just the power play, right?
Absolutely. The overall team effort is what's getting them wins.
And the source material highlights that. Joseph Woll has been fantastic in goal, giving them stability. And Austin Matthews, he's coming into his own as a leader. It's not just about scoring points.
It's the combination of all of it. Fresh ideas, composure, and star players leading in every way.
Exactly.
Let's loop back to the player who was at the center of all this, Scott Lawton. He's not just a victim of a bad call. He's sort of the embodiment of this new, controlled intensity.
He really is the emotional engine. The sources say he plays with this palpable fire, that he has that dog in him.
That uncompromising drive.
Yes. And, crucially, he uses moments of injustice, like that hit, as fuel. That intensity is a core asset.
But that fire has to be controlled, right?
Yeah.
If he'd retaliated after that non-call, the whole game could have changed.
And that's the key distinction. His value isn't just the physicality, it's the control.
So what did he do?
His first reaction was pure rage. He went straight to the Florida bench to confront the guy. That's the fire. But then he calmed down the rest of the game. He showed that critical situational awareness. They're up 3-0. He prioritized the win over his personal anger.
That's the difference between being a liability and being a leader. And this focus on